Okay, another short video just to give you a report on the short show that we just saw. Maybe you all watched it already, maybe you didn't, but I'll give you my comments and thoughts about what just took place on this 25-minute handover presentation, about 10 minutes of which was just actually handing over 10 or so vehicles. But there were some nuggets and some interesting things here that I think will be important. I want to let you know right up front, though, that the stock was basically unmoved by the event. That doesn't mean that the stock didn't move today. It did, but I don't think the event had anything to do with it. This is Randy Kirk. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify, all that jazz, and then buy your Cybertruck. Where did mine go? Here we go. You get your Cybertruck refrigerator magnet ASAP. You know you want one. 25 for one, 45 for two, and 65 for three. And add $20 if you're outside the country. And please let me know whether you want the camo version or the stainless steel. Send it to paypal.me/Randy Kirk, all in lowercase letters. Here we go. Here's what took place in no particular order. I never write this stuff down. But for this particular one, I wanted to be able to give it my full attention, and this is the easiest way to do that. So what happened here? We had pretty much all of the events, or what do you want to call it, all the demos that we had discussed this morning and that others have discussed and that I wanted, except none of them were in person. I mean, if you bring folks from all over the country, they're all excited to come. Couldn't you do at least one or two of these things in person? But they did make up for it because on the factory tour with the operating line, so we had trucks being made during the factory. I wasn't there. I'm sorry. I'm sitting at home, as you can tell. While the folks that visited the factory were going through the tour, they were seeing the actual Cybertrucks in manufacturing, in production, seeing them go through the steps, some of the steps. I don't know how many they got to see, but they were also allowed to take pictures and videos. So go up online and find some of these pictures of the line. Go to Sawyer Merritt on X if you want to. He's got a lot of great pictures that he took. I would show you all the pictures. I guess I could do that. Maybe not. Maybe tomorrow. And just go up on X and look at Sawyer Merritt's. They're right there. You're going to be able to drool over them longer rather than just me running through them. So that was fantastic. I'm glad that they got to go through the factory. I'm glad they got to see the product being made, and glad they got to take pictures and videos and share those with us. That was fantastic. It indicated that the trucks are moving along. Elon also showed us a picture earlier today of the production line, a still, and it showed lots and lots of trucks coming along. So I don't know if they're making 20 a day or 30 a day or 50 a day. That information is still not out there, but Sawyer Merritt, all these guys were there. They should have been able to get how fast are those cars moving, which should give them some idea of the throughput per shift. Maybe right now it's only one shift, but that would still give us what is the shift rate at this time, would give us some idea of the expectations. We also did hear earlier today that they are shipping now. They're not going to wait until the beginning of the year in order to take advantage of how they do their books. There's a whole bunch of confusing things about when you have to take the costs, the startup costs, and so you might want to wait till next year so you don't have to show those startup costs. Well, they're not going to do that. They are manufacturing product right now to ship out the door right now, and so we'll see how many that means in the month of December. But it would be nice if Tesla would just give us a hint. Are they looking at 1,000? Are they looking at 2,000? Are they looking at more? I don't know. And anyway, so that was really, really good. I did hear from Sawyer. I'm sorry, on the presentation, they said this is steer by wire. That's something that a lot of people have been really hoping for. That's going to be excellent. As Elon explained, it's better for whether you're driving slow or on the freeway. The steer by wire is really, really an advantage. Probably all cars eventually go to steer by wire, but right now Tesla does have that. They gave us the stat that the beast mode, which is not going to be available in 2024, apparently, it looks like only the all-wheel drive will be available in 2024. But the beast mode, when it comes out, will do 0 to 60 in 2.6. This is a truck doing 0 to 60 in 2.6. However, the all-wheel drive will be doing 0 to 60 in 3.9, which is better than my Volvo 300 horsepower twin turbo 3.9. Yeah, in a truck. Okay. So let's see, what else did we find? Oh, so they showed a picture of the vehicle. Now I don't know whether this was the beast mode or whether this was the all-wheel drive that's already available. But anyway, they had the demonstration of the Cybertruck in a quarter-mile race with a Porsche 911. I suggested a Corvette. They decided on a Porsche 911, and then they showed the race. The Tesla Cybertruck won the race between itself and a 911, and then they said, well, but wait a minute, check this out. And the Tesla truck, the Cybertruck, was towing a Porsche, and while towing a Porsche, it beat the 911. Okay, so that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Good thing. They showed a demo of the Tommy gun shooting the car in the door. They actually showed a guy with a gun shooting up the door. And they told later, or somewhere there was information that you could do that with either a 45 millimeter or a 9 millimeter. Either one will not penetrate. And of course, we already know that a crossbow with a titanium tip will also barely even make a little tiny scratch. Lots of videos of off-road, but we've seen a lot of those before today. I was hoping for more detail on that. This is going to be my big objection, which I'll get to in a second. Let's see what else. Oh, they did a truck pull test. They said this is the ultimate test of the torque, and it pulls a 40,000 pound sled, and in the truck pull, the Cybertruck beat all comers. Basically, it beat Ford, the Ford truck, the diesel truck, which is the old record holder. It just wiped out everybody. Okay, and then in terms of payload, they made the very big point that it will hold pretty much anything that you can fit in the bed. So if it will fit in the space, then it will be able to move with that product in there. So there might be some exceptions. I mean, there's some things that are so dense, ball bearings, for instance, maybe I can't take ball bearings, but basically that's the rule. If it can fit in the bed, it can move it. So we have a very specific number there. I think it's 2,500 pounds, but why do you need more than 2,500 pounds if you'll never be able to fit that into the bed? All right, then we came to the very, very critical issues of price and range. Elon didn't give that to us, but it was on the website right after the program was over. So what we have is the rear-wheel drive, which will not be available in 2024. It won't be available until 2025. It will start at $60,990, and that is before you take any discounts based on the IRA or state discounts or whatever else. So $60,990 will be the window sticker. It will have 250 miles of range. Then you have the all-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive will start at $79,990, and it will have 340 miles of range, which should be enough for pretty much anybody, okay? 340 miles of range should cover probably 90% of the buyers, maybe certainly 80. I don't know what the number is, but it's going to be a bunch that'll be plenty of range, and they won't have to even think about it. And you'll get the full discount, the full 7,500 plus state discounts, et cetera, et cetera. But for an extra 10,000, you can buy a range extender, and that will give you a total of 470 miles of range. Okay, so if you really need that kind of range, you can buy the range extender. Now, there's been all these questions over time. Can you buy the vehicle, say for $79,990, get your discount, get your federal discount, and then add the full self-driving later, so to speak, like the next day, and pay the $12,000 or whatever? Then you'll have to pay for cash, but you'll still get your discount, which will pay for most of the full self-driving. Same thing would be true, I suppose, for the range extender. I would think that there's nothing the federal government can do to keep you from being able to make that a separate purchase so that you get the full discount. Then the beast mode, which they didn't give a date, not 2024 apparently, maybe not even 2025, but when the beast comes out, it will have 320 miles of range, and it'll be $99,990, and it will go 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. So I don't know what else the beast mode will do, maybe in terms of torque, maybe in terms of towing, but it will only have 320 miles of range. It didn't say whether you could add the range extender, which would take it up to, I guess, about 440 or something like that. That wasn't part of the information that was available. All right. So then, what did I think? So I think the pricing is fine. I don't think it's going to matter for the first year or so, as a couple of years, and over the next couple of years, lots of things can change in terms of the pricing. I think the range is fine. I don't think that's going to mess up anybody's plans. I think all of the cool things that it could do and the very positive kinds of things that, Elon keeps saying, best product they've ever made, most important product to be introduced this year, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think that he's wrong about any of that. The market is feeling like, okay, so far it's down a tad in the after hours, but less than a full percent in the after hours. It was down 1.66 today, but it basically followed the Magnificent Seven all day. I mean, it followed the NASDAQ sort of, but it was more like what the Magnificent Seven was doing, which was way down most of the day and then coming back toward the end, as Tesla did also. So it kind of just followed what everybody else was doing. What I do think is that they could have done so much more with this presentation. I'm sorry. I mean, there's just so much more they could have done. So many more videos they could have shown, so much more detail in terms of what it could do off-roading, so much more detail in what it could do as a work truck. Get into it, show us the detail. Now, maybe, this is a slow rollout, and we've got these other videos that are going to be coming from these third party, and the third party guys, they're going to be more believable because they're third party guys. And so maybe that was the theory, is we'll give you the basics, we'll give you the very, the things that you absolutely have to know in order to get what we're doing here and understand why it's great. And then over the next 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to be just slammed with one video after another, and with one presentation after another, and with lots of guys like me and on X and in other formats providing additional detail as that additional detail comes out from third parties. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think you've got the attention of the entire world for as an hour and a half. That's what I was expecting. We use the hour and a half. Find a way, make it interesting. Oh, and of course, my biggest disappointment is that Optimus was no place to be seen. No Optimus on the line, no Optimus helping with the handover, no Optimus. So I'm sad. But overall, I'm saying, hey, I want to know how many they're going to make. That's what I want to know, how many they're making now. So what does that make it look like? I mean, if they're making, 300 a day on the first shift, then do you go ahead and go to second shift, or do you continue to ramp the first shift until you're getting what you think is your best capacity out of the first shift and then go to second shift? Not sure how they're going to play that. I know what I would do as a manufacturer because I want to maximize my numbers, but we'll see what they do. Hope this was helpful. I will be back, of course, at roughly 5 o'clock-ish. Maybe a little before, a little after, with Brad Ferguson. Brad has been tweeting all day. He's been posting all day on X about various aspects of the event. I'm sure he'll have plenty to add to the story. Plus, I'm very interested to hear what Brad thinks about the trading today and what's going on with maybe the beginning of the big rotation, and what will that mean in the weeks ahead. So come on back and see me later. Hit subscribe and notify so you'll be notified about that. And buy your Cybertruck and join Patreon, not necessarily in that order. It's been great talking to you.